Hello. I'm in my new studio thing again, up by StreamYard, powered by StreamYard. And yeah, just realised I'd hit live and hadn't fully got myself set up or where I was looking, and haven't got my notes folded in the right place or anything. So yeah, here I am. Happy Easter for any of you who celebrate Easter. So you guys asked me to do a Facebook Live today. I can't see who's just given me a heart, but thank you very much. And I haven't actually got this. Let me just see if that's a bit better. It might be a bit squinty whilst my eyes adjust. I've not spoken to anyone properly today, so can you tell? So yeah, you guys asked me to be here today, even though it's officially a bank holiday here in the UK. So I think it is in many places around the world. However, I quite often will work a bank holiday anyway, because I can take time off at any point that is appropriate and suitable for me. And so, hey Rob, what am I doing working on a bank holiday? I've just explained that. That people were requesting it last week. I asked whether you guys wanted me to show up this week, and there was a resounding yes. Hi Chris, how are you doing, my lovely? And so here I am, and I've just realized I've still got my emails open, so let me just switch that off so that that doesn't ping at any point during this, because I find that so rude. So here I am doing a confidence conversation on Monday, I have no idea what the date is of April. I think it's the 13th, I guess, without checking my diary. So there's a lot of you coming on here live, which is fantastic. Please do, as Ruth, hello Ruth, and Chris and Rob are all doing, and drop down and say hi, because it is really lovely to give you a shout out. And I highly recommend you do that on the recording as well, or replay, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, because I still go on, whilst I can't say it live, obviously, I do come on and go and tippity type and have a conversation with people who join me in the replay. So I'm very conscious that I'm fiddling. Part of that is because I might have lured you here under false pretext. Nicola, hello, my lovely. And Lindsay shared 6 times for me. Oh, Rob, you're such a sweetheart. Thank you, my lovely. And Caroline, oh, how lovely to have you all here. Maybe I'll do one on a bank holiday more often. It's more popular at the moment. Yeah, I've done that marketing thing and lured you here, possibly under false pretext in some senses, because I've stated that I've lost my confidence, and that's what I wanted to come on and talk about. Mainly being that I've been pondering all day whether to do this, not all day because I've been doing other stuff, but at various points during today, I've been pondering as to whether to do this live. I did promise I would do so. If I make a promise, it's very rare that I make a promise, but when I do make a promise, I fulfill on that promise. And I did promise those of you who asked me to show up that I would. So, but then I was debating, hey Tracy, how are you doing? I was debating as to what seems appropriate to talk about, what seems, we were made together, Nicola, I do remember. How could I forget the bondage? Haha. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, Nicola and I took part in a calendar call to do with the Embrace movement, and we were May, and both dressed in our bikinis, and we had paper wrapped around us, hence my bondage reference. That was 2 years ago, I think now. Yeah, so I put that I've lost my confidence, and the reason I'm probably hesitating more, this is not scripted. I've just sat here maybe 10 minutes before I've hit live, and wanted to get a bit of clarity on what I was wanting to say and why I was wanting to say it. I thought the best way I could let you know was frame it up to say that I have lost confidence. It was a bikini one. We were in our bikinis, Rob. And the reason I'm stating that I've lost confidence is because I have spent today going through a great deal of paperwork that I have been storing for years to do with the business, with some ideas that I've had, and just articles and various things that I've written and kept all to one side that I thought, oh, we'll go through them at some point, never knowing where that some point was or when it would be. And it turns out it's Easter Monday 2020. And I've gone through a lot of that paperwork today, and it's quite annoying that actually it was recycle collection this morning before I'd gone through it all, because believe me, I've thrown a lot of paper away. I might light the fire this evening and get rid of a load. But one thing I noticed, there was quite a few, I wouldn't say journals as such, because they weren't journals in the full-on sense of where I've poured my heart out to them, but there were certainly journals where I've captured ideas, captured thoughts. And bearing in mind that I've been doing this work now in October this year, it will be 15 years that I have been professionally practicing as a coach, and more specifically as a confidence coach. And so, a lot of this paperwork I've been collecting since then, believe it or not. So 15 years worth. And a lot of these scribblings are from back then as well. And Lindsay's been doing the same, but with family photos. And one of the things that I noticed as I was going through was actually the way that I was speaking about confidence all those years ago versus how I talk about confidence now, which is why I've stated that I've lost confidence. Because actually what I think is what I mean by that, and why I have stated that, is because I've lost confidence in the sense of the mainstream version of confidence. So when I first started out as a confidence coach and really started to look in depth as to what confidence was, it was very focused in a number of ways, and there was a lot of assumptions around what confidence is, what it does, how to get it. And what I noticed was the way that some of these articles were written and what they were telling you to do in order to how to get more confidence and boost your confidence, I didn't see as helpful or valid any longer. I mean, I literally have been throwing things away from 2006, 2009, these are years old, and they're outdated. This mode of a way of thinking about confidence is really outdated. And I wanted to share some of those things, because as I'm putting together this product that I have been I've been actually wanting to do for about 4 or 5 years, but not really ever had the time to be able to do it. But I'm getting some space to be able to do it, because I'm so glad I did. I brought all these these boxes and boxes of paperwork home, and have been going through it bit by bit. And Ruth's already jumped ahead with what I was going to ask you to do. So if you wouldn't mind doing what Ruth has done, which is beautiful, is just, I would love to know what you think confidence is. So Ruth has said that it's self-acceptance. So I'd love to know what you think confidence is. Put it in the comments below. What do you think it is? I don't think the coronavirus as such, Rob, has, whilst you're typing, I will comment on this. I don't think the coronavirus has had an impact on people's confidence. I think it's how people think about the coronavirus that has an impact on how they then perceive themselves and their confidence. Rob says, walking and the River Ouse is so beautiful. Yeah, I love I've been taking so many walks down there and cycling down there. I love it. It's so beautiful. Not quite sure what you're saying. I'm spot on, Geeta, or whether that's in reference to myself or somebody else, but thank you very much. Lindsay says, believing in yourself. I love that, Lindsay. So believing in yourself is what confidence is about for Lindsay. What else? What do you think confidence is? Because as I say, as I've gone through, and you can tell that this is very different to how I would normally do. I've literally just realized, ping, light bulb moment, in this moment, I haven't done any of the usual blurb that I normally do at the beginning of a Facebook Live. I've been so intent on thinking about this that I completely forgot about how I would normally start it. Emily Jane has said self-assuredness. Thank you, Emily. And Tracy's put that she agrees with Lindsay. Caroline has said confidence is being comfortable in your own skin. These are great, and I'm saying ladies because I haven't had a man say it yet, but these are great. Whilst you're still typing your ideas of what you think confidence is, please share this video as Rob has done. He said he shared it 6 times, which is fantastic. Please invite people to like this page. Oh, and by the way, if you are on Instagram, I would so value you going and following me, because I think I'm about 7 or 8 people off hitting 1,000. Just for no reason. It just make me smile. If I got 1,000 people, that would be awesome. But also on this page, you know, it's important to get people here so that they can start doing the kind of questioning that I'm inviting you to do now and continuing on through this live. So Chris says it's about being comfortable in your own company. And how many people, Chris, I know that you live on your own, I live on my own. One of the conversations I've had a lot with clients who live on their own, and also clients who don't live on their own but are trying to support friends who live on their own. How important is it to be looking at that at this moment in time? Confidence, Rob says, to me means having trust in what you're speaking about. Belief empowers, and trustworthiness. These are great, and I really appreciate the interaction and you guys taking the time to type these in whatever way, shape or form you are, whether it's fast thumb action or typing on a typewriter. So something that I noticed that was coming up in these articles and research that I'd done all these years ago, but also in my own scribblings as well, is that there was this perception that to have confidence, it means that you need to be loud, you need to be outspoken, you need to be the center of attention, you need to have an opinion, be jokey, all of these things. Loud and brash is what I put it on. And be happy to chat away with everybody and anybody, can do this whole small talky stuff and blah, 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 blah. And what I've been doing is I've been going through is really sitting with my thoughts on these things, because the reason I said I've lost confidence, as I've said a moment ago, is I have lost confidence. If you define confidence in the way that mainstream defines confidence, and what today has really shown for me in so many different ways is, if I was to stick to the mainstream definition of what confidence is, then yeah, I haven't got it. I haven't got it. But years ago, I would say probably it's got clearer and clearer as the years have gone on, is I've redefined confidence for myself, and I've got really clear, and I'm still looking as to what confidence is. And that one thing I know for absolute 100% certainty is that confidence is not that you have to be loud, brash, outspoken, the center of attention, be good with banter, any of that kind of stuff, you know, the clown, you know, however you want to word it. That is not confidence. That's a performance. just like I timed taking my tea at that point. It's a performance, it's a setup, it's a front the majority of the time. And I know that because that is exactly what I used to think confidence was. So I would walk into somewhere and I'd be like, hi, I'm here. Or be sitting there thinking, oh my God, I've been too quiet. I must chip in. I must, get in there and have this conversation quickly. Or, all these different things that I was like, I have to do this, I have to do that. And then walking away and most of the time being kind of, sorry if there's young children around, but pissed off at myself and frustrated and doubting and questioning myself as to whether I'd actually said what I wanted to say, and was I that funny, and did I make an idiot of myself? And it's kind of like having that, I've heard it referred to as having a vulnerability hangover in the Brené Brown terms, but it's that self-doubt, that walking away, that questioning. That's not confidence. That if you've ever done that and walked away from stuff, then that means that whatever you were doing is performance, and that doesn't make you a bad person or wrong or broken or anything like that. If you've done it, it means that you're attempting to do something that we are being told by mainstream that is the definition of a confident person. I spent 10 years working in show business, and I can honestly tell you that I would say, and this is just off the top of my head, kind of doing a quick Rolodex of the people in that I work with, which was hundreds of actors, some of them extremely well known, that the majority of them didn't have confidence, not in what I would define as confidence, and not even actually what the mainstream would define as confidence, apart from when they were on stage, because they were performing and they were being a different character. But you take them outside of that, when they're not performing and not being that character, they didn't have what other people, what this mainstream would define as confidence. And I think it's about time that all of us stepped up to really start to challenge that mainstream definition of anything. So, Nicola's on here, and I love the fact, Nicola, this is perfect that you've popped on here. We did this calendar, and I had a mainstream definition of what the ideal body should look like. If you'd have told teenage me that I'd have been stood in a wood in a bikini with a bunch of other ladies having our photo taken that was then going to be plastered across the internet and made into calendars, I would have told you where to go, quite frankly. I wasn't a teenager, I'm only talking a few years ago. So I'm a woman in my 40s standing in a wood in September, and it was very cold, in a bikini, having my photo taken, because I'd redefined for myself what a body should look like. And what a body should look like is whatever the bleep it looks like right now, not this mainstream definition. And that's what we need to really start to challenge, these mainstream definitions of things, and push back. This mainstream definition of confidence, which is another reason why I know, reading some of these articles, I actually did get quite annoyed. It was a good cathartic thing to be doing, because I could physically rip up these pieces of paper going, no, that's just not helpful. These messages that are going out there that there was one article that was saying, and this was the second thing that I realized, that, it was saying that, you need to make sure, if you're going out to a meeting or if you are going to present, that you need to have all the answers. You need to know, if you're going to be getting any tricky questions, that you've got all the answers to hand. Well, I can honestly tell you that if that is the mainstream definition of confidence, I haven't got confidence. Because I do not know all the answers. I do not know all the answers when it comes to coaching. I do not know all the answers when it comes to the coaching industry. I do not know all the answers when it comes to confidence. I don't know all the answers. Sorry, peeps, if that's blown your illusion or whatever it is. But, no. That's why I've lost confidence. There's two reasons, right? That's kind of how I felt earlier today. Is one, it says that, I should be the loud one, the brash one, the performy, jokey, have an opinion person. Well, that's not me. The second one is that I should have all the answers, and I just don't. So if I follow mainstream and what that is telling me, then I'm wrong, I'm broken, I don't have confidence. That means my business is up creek without a paddle in it, really. But you know what? The more I realize I don't have all the answers, the more free I am becoming with that. It's so liberating to it's so liberating to not have that pressure on yourself and still be doing the work, still be inquiring, still be doing that self-development work, which is so important. There's a load of comments been flashing as I've been ranting, so let me just have a look at these. So Tracy says, confidence is a feeling of certainty about truth, whatever true is for you. I'm going to come back to that, Tracy. Like companionship. I love that, Tracy. Used to feel like that, but not anymore, says Geeta. This is why I'm letting my hair go grey. Love that, Tracy. But you're willing to share the conversation, and that's what's important, Tracy, is the conversation. You don't need, Lindsay, of all people, to say this. All I'm going to say to you, Lindsay, right now is expert. Is expert. That's all I'm going to say. When I do trainings with people around public speaking, is I very often will deliberately use the word expert in relation to them. And I haven't had a person yet that doesn't in some way, shape or form go, I'm not the expert, because we have this mainstream definition that expert means I have to know everything. I have to have all the answers. No, you don't. You need to know that you have done the research, the work, the experience, the expertise for whatever it is and wherever it is that you're speaking from right now. You are welcome, Lindsay. Hopefully you know, Mira, see that. See what you just screen grab that right now for yourself. So if you ever question yourself again, you can see that. What is the matter with me? Sarah, we've got more than one person from across the other side of the pond. How lovely is that? So lovely, Sarah, my gorgeous friend, Sarah. So Sarah, you've put that confidence comes and goes and that's okay. I would challenge that personally. I don't think that confidence does come and go. I think our thinking comes and goes, and that's what blocks us from accessing our confidence. Think of it like what I say is that confidence is like the sun. The sun is always there, but sometimes clouds get in the way and we can't see it, but we know it's always there, even if there are clouds in the way. And I think when you can hold on, somebody used trust or faith earlier, when you can hold on to that trust and that faith, that confidence is always there, even if you can't access it in that moment, then that's when you recognize it's not something that you've got to build. It's not something that you've got to boost. It's not something that you've got to build up in any way, shape or form. It's there. Exactly. The stars are always there too. And I love you and miss you too, Sarah. Yeah, this time last year, you were planning your trip over. Very different world we're living in right now. So the third thing, which follows on from the third thing that follows on from needing to have all the answers, and I know that this is something that has screwed me up for a long time, really screwed me over. And it was only when I was reading through, so this product that I'm, this course product that I'm putting together, the initial part of it will be starting with confidence basics and getting to really to grips to understand confidence basics, and then it's going to go from there. And this is, you know, as I say, this is an idea I've had for a really long time. And I'm putting it together. I've got the space to be able to do that in a different way to how I would have done before. And usually I'd have just charged in with getting it all sorted, but actually I've taken a step back, and because of that, that's why I'm reading. So I've got one of my notebooks here. So it's things like this, right? So it was actually full. But you can see that there's like, I just have scribblings in various things, but I've torn a load of pages out of this because it wasn't relevant anymore that was in there. But what I noticed was what stopped me, I think, a lot of the time with being able to do some of the things that I've wanted to do, and get some of the information out that I've wanted to, is because I believed that, again, the mainstream version of confidence meant that I had to get it right or be right. And I'd read something, and I can't remember specifically what it was that I'd written, and I reread it about 3 or 4 times, sort of like trying to, it's a great way of reflecting, by the way, of seeing how far you've come on your journey. And as I say, this stuff goes back more than a decade. And it was something around not being able to move forward because I haven't got all the answers and I'm worried I won't get it right. What if I say the wrong thing, and that's going to make me wrong? And it's just all this stuff. And I just kept reading it going, that's interesting, because if I was following that mainstream confidence perception, that confidence definition, then yeah, that's where I was. Oh my God, I have to get it right. I have to get it right. If I don't get it right, then all hell's going to break loose. The reason I'm saying I've lost confidence is because I've lost that definition. I'm more interested in, as you said, Tracy, I'm more interested in showing up and having a conversation. I'm more interested in exploring this stuff for myself. I'm more interested in challenging my own perception, challenging your perception, challenging mainstream perception, because I'm not sure that it's serving. I'm not sure that it's helping. If I follow all of these mainstream definitions that I was looking at today of confidence, then I wouldn't be classed as confident, just in the same way as I wouldn't be classed as successful, right? Because I am not a successful woman. According to mainstream, I've said this time and time again, according to mainstream, not only am I not successful, I'm also a failure. Because I'm a 47-year-old woman, and I don't have children. So there you go, tick a box there, I'm a failure automatically. I'm also not in a relationship, so there you go, another failure. I have my own business, but it wouldn't run without me. So actually it's not a business, I've got a job. So there we go, another failure. It's also not turning over a 7-figure business. Sorry, but it's not. So again, tick that box, failure. And I could go on. And this is where we have to be so aware of what is being pushed as the truth in mainstream and challenge it, because I don't believe that it is. If you guys, I am obviously prepared to be challenged. If you disagree, then please let me know, and please give me some information to so that I can challenge myself with that. If you disagree, let me know. If you agree, let me know, because I think this is important for all of you who are either watching this now live, or if you're watching this on the that's easy for me to say. I promise you, it is only tea. It's nothing else. I'm just curious as to what would happen if you sat down and challenged your definition of confidence. You know, because if you've got this confidence if you've got this definition that confidence is about having all the answers, getting it right, being loud, being able to do banter and small talk, always looking good, having perfect children, having the perfect job, the house looking right, whatever it is, if you've got these definitions, which we could remove the word definition, by the way, and put conditioning, because ultimately I think the majority of us have been conditioned, regardless of how great our upbringing has been, or how awful our upbringing has been. Society conditions people. That's what it does. How dare you be late to the call, Comfort? But it's welcome, my lovely. Hopefully you know I'm joking. I am genuinely really curious as to what would happen. I would invite you all to lose your confidence, as in your mainstream definition of confidence, and actually really look into it for yourself. Look into what it really is, where it comes from, how you can access it. Because there is research out there that shows that you are born with confidence genes. I've said this before. There's between 1 and 4 confidence genes, and you're born with at least 1, a maximum of 4. And then it goes back into the conversation of nature and nurture. But you could have all 4 confidence genes and be brought up in a crappy environment and have low confidence. Equally, you could have one of the confidence genes and been brought up in a really encouraging environment and have confidence. So, it's a whole nature nurture conversation. But it's that's my invitation. I would love you all to lose confidence in the way that I'm talking about it, is to lose that mainstream definition to, let me just check before I do this, now I'm fine, to be able to do this with those definitions that you're talking about, is to do that and get rid of it. Create your own, one that's helpful, one that's resourceful, one that is, to me, confidence is always there. Sometimes I don't experience it, but it's always there, and I know it's always there. To me, that's where that faith comes in. There's many a times, if my wonderful friend Geeta is still on here, she will tell you, she will attest, there are times when I question myself and what I'm doing, but that doesn't mean to say that I will stop doing what I'm doing, but I do take a step back. I have faith. I trust. Sometimes I'm in really uncomfortable places as I'm going through this. It's the whole thing of if you really want to. My coach has often said, if most people want to get to heaven, but no one's prepared to go through hell to get there. And I think it's so true. When you're looking at personal development and you're looking at self-growth, and if you really want to access that inner peace, if you really want to access true happiness, authentic confidence, whatever you want to call it, then you have to do the work. And that means stepping away from the mainstream side of it all. It has to be. You have to go inward. Somebody sent me this beautiful image. I can't remember who it was. I want to say Nicola, but not the Nicola that's on here, another Nicola, sent me the beautiful picture that I just put on Instagram. Remember, go follow me on Instagram. Jules Wyman UK, thank you. Or if you're a Twitterer, then Twitter too, Jules Wyman UK. And other Nicola sent me this picture, this quote, and it said, at times when the times when you can't go outside, go inside. And I think so much of it, we're so conditioned to look outward and look at our world outward, and we need to do that inner work. We need to. Nothing in the last 2-3 weeks, nothing to me has been so obviously important as us doing that inner work in whatever way that means for us. And it's not easy. I certainly don't find it easy, but I certainly know it's important, and I would not be as I am today here if it wasn't for that. And I've just realized the time, and I've been on a little bit of a rant. I think I needed to get this off my chest. So thank you for sticking with me and listening, even if you don't agree. Tracy said, let me have a look. But are those things you feel you need to check off to be true to Jules? Perhaps time to get out of the steam and hang out on your own beach. I don't have a beach, but that would be lovely. I think when it comes to true, my coach, whenever I talk about true or truth, he pushes back with the word accurate. Stop looking for truth and look for accurate. Look for accuracy and validity. And I think that's really important, actually, is that accurate? And I think, somebody posted on Facebook earlier today about why are people afraid of facing their fears when so often those fears aren't even real. And I think that we can get so attached to those fears that we identify them and won't even let go of them. So I think that when it, rather than looking for truth, I think my invitation that it certainly has helped me through my coach, it is around looking for accuracy as opposed to the truth. Because I think the thinking mind can lie to us as to what the truth is, but it can't falsify accuracy if you keep looking, in my experience anyway. Lindsay says, you don't always have to be loud. Sometimes you need to listen. Research is only as good as the researching in that moment in time. Absolutely true. And I think that so often listening is far more important thing to do than talk. I really do think it is. Geeta says, yes, you do. That's what I love about working with you. And I love working with you as well. When you're going through hell, keep going. Yes, Lindsay's definitely proof of this. Not sure how I did it, but I did. And, you know, that's something that I said about the other week, is that we can all do with reflecting back and having a look at tough times that we've been through before. You know, I wrote an article on LinkedIn about this. If you're not connected with me on LinkedIn, there's another place to get connected with me. But I wrote an article about this last week, that it's, and this was in relation to a client call I'd had, and reflecting on that. Something that we can all do is reflect back over our lives. I think at least 95% of my clients, when I've said to them, have you been through a tough time in your life, have said yes. The other 5% are teenagers. They haven't yet faced that, and that's okay. But we make that wrong if we've had a tough time. And yet when you look at that tough time, that's where we've got through stuff. You know, I wouldn't change any of that stuff that I've been through, because that's what's helped me get to where I am today. And when you remember those things, that's when you can take a step and just go, look, do you know what? I dealt with that situation. I don't know how. It may not have been gracefully or easily or joyfully or peacefully or perfectly or whatever you want to add to it, but you did it. And one of the phrases that comes out when I work with clients is, I found a way through, I got through, I found a way through. And that's exactly what you've just said. I can't remember who says that quote actually, Lindsay, which is, the only way through hell is to keep going. I've got a feeling it might be Winston Churchill, but I could be wrong. Geeta says, how we can learn and grow if we think we know it all. Exactly. How can we? It's just not possible. Donna, doesn't matter if you're late, my lovely. You can always go back and watch it on the replay. It's lovely to have you here. Linda says, once I recognized what knocked my confidence, I was able to begin rebuilding it again. So going back to what I said earlier, I don't think it's a case of us rebuilding it. I think it's a case of us accessing it and looking what was getting in the way, those thoughts, thinking that was getting in the way of us accessing it. Thank you for the hugs. Comfort, always welcome. Chris says, perfect time to be doing the inner work. Absolutely, for all of us. Geeta says, so true. Lindsay, tough times equals best learnings. Hello, my lovely. Thank you, Ellie, for that. Yes, it was Winston Churchill, Lindsay. Thank you very much. Wow. Well, considering that when I was sat earlier, I was thinking, I don't really know what I want to talk about. 38 minutes. It's a bit of a record. No, I don't think it is a record, actually. I think I've done nearly an hour before now. So my takeaway, sorry, I'm fiddling with the pieces of paper that I've torn up. So my takeaway, my thought for you is any definition that the mainstream offers, whoever the mainstream are, advertising, media, social media, whatever it is, anything mainstream. You see, do you know what? I've always made myself wrong for being against mainstream, for being, and yet so desperately wanting to fit in. Now I couldn't give a flying hoot, quite frankly. But challenge that mainstream dialogue about what actually is confidence. And even if that is defining it for yourself, be careful not to get hooked up on outside. I'm confident if I've got if people around me are happy, or I'm confident if I've got, you know, a beautiful home and it's all tidy. You know, be careful about that, because those things can go, and if they go, then you'll perceive that your confidence has gone. Again, much bigger conversation, which I will, so redefine it for yourself, get clarity on that for yourself. And there was a second thing that I was going to say, but I can't remember what it is. So I'm sorry about that. That's what happens when the little bit of notes that you did have, you get overexcited and tear it up, and now I'm throwing them all over the place. So have you found this helpful? For those of you that wanted me to show up on a bank holiday Monday, and I made you that promise that I would. Well, I knew that this would be great. Thank you, Tracy. Much appreciated. Lindsay says, me too. I am what I think. I am what I'm. I think that is a song. Do you mean I am what I am? Yeah. It's funny you should mention that, Lindsay, because one of the notes that I'd written however many years ago that I saw today said, I am what I am. Look at the lyrics of this song. What are they actually saying? So I'm going to go back and have a look at that, actually. I'm not sure. I'm getting quite challenged by song lyrics at the moment and what's really being said in them, which I've never really thought about before. I just happily sing along. Comfort says yes. Lindsay says yes, thank you, Jules. Chris says brilliant. Comfort says I'm going to recap from the start. Please do. And Debs hey Debs, how you doing? I hope you're okay. Says yes, thanks, Jules. So there we go, 41 minutes and high viewing, interestingly enough, on a bank holiday. Interesting. I wonder if it would be the same if we weren't on lockdown. Or dance. What does that mean, Ellie? Are you suggesting that I start dancing now? Oh, mean the music? Yes, singing along. Yeah. Finding the right songs to sing, right songs to sing and dance to. I did think of you yesterday, actually, when I had the Peanuts song, which has now gone out of my head. Only happy when I'm dancing. That's the one. Anyway, enough of me chatting to my friends on a Facebook Live when I'm meant to be talking directly to everybody. If you have found this of value, then please do share it, whether that be via YouTube. If you know people that you want to share it with that won't watch it on Facebook, then give it a good 24 hours and this will go up on YouTube so you can find it on there. I'm saying that, I will need to double check. Now I'm using a different system. Share it with your friends, share it in groups, invite people to like this page. Whilst I don't get payment, it's not like I get £1 per person liking this. It does make a difference because it helps me reach people, and anybody who knows me. I got asked at a talk that I did recently. Whenever I've opened the floor up to people, in all the 15 years I've been doing this, I've never been asked this question before. And the lady said, you know, what motivates you? Why do you do what you do? Why do you keep going regardless? And I had to think about it for a while because I didn't know. It wasn't a question that I'd thought of before, and so therefore didn't have an answer. But as I was talking and thinking aloud, it's because I listen to people, and when I listen to them through their languaging and what they're saying, I can hear what's causing their, not always, but I can often hear what's causing a lot of their problems. I can hear the suffering that they're in, the discomfort, the inner turmoil that they're going through. And I genuinely don't believe that that is how we are meant to be as human beings. I don't believe that we're meant to be living in fear, which is what all of this pandemic is pushing at this moment in time, which is why I don't listen to the news. I'm done with it. I don't think that that's how we're naturally meant to be. It's certainly not good for our nervous system. It's not good for our physical being. It's not good spiritually. It's not good emotionally. It's just not helpful. And so if there is any way that I can help people, that's why I do what I do, both working with people one-on-one, with creating the products that I'm looking to do and the ones that I've already got, working in groups, doing the webinars. Oh, by the way, there's more webinars going up on the page. Let me, you know me, I can't talk and type at the same time. So let me find the web page. They're not up yet. I will be doing them tomorrow. But I've got 3 more amazing, we've had some phenomenal people on here, and I've got 3 more amazing people that will be coming on this page. So keep an eye out for that. There's 2 next week, I think it is, and then 1 the following week. And then I'm going to do another one as well. So that's why I do what I do, because I want to support people to recognize that fear, for example, isn't the only way of living. Having that fluctuation of confidence, for example, that Sarah mentioned earlier, isn't the only way of living. And that there are far more resourceful, helpful, peaceful, calm, quieter, happier, whatever the word is that you want to. Yeah, there's much easier, much simpler ways of living that can get us closer to where I think we and how we are meant to be. So that's why I do what I do. So please follow me on the social media, because it helps. It helps the reach with people. Share this video because it helps the reach with people. If you align with what I'm saying, then please help me, because I can't do this on my own. I'm not great at the best of times of doing all the marketing and everything anyway. So I do rely on other people helping. So if this is something that you believe in this work as well, then please help me so that I can help others. Here endeth the broadcast of me asking for your help. So cheers. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. I trust that you are taking care of yourself. Biggest piece of advice: if you don't need to watch the media, don't. If you don't need to listen to it, don't. Stay away from it. Do things that light you up. Do the inner work. And remember that I'm here. So if you need to reach out to set up a coaching call, or if you've got a particular topic you want covered on here, then reach out and let me know. And on that note, I'm going to go and have another cup of tea probably and do some more work. And you're very welcome, Tracy. I'm more than happy to go live. And I look forward to catching up with you all next week. So take care of yourself. See you later.